What's up, boys? Today, we're gonna do something a little interesting. Today, I'm gonna speedrun Pokemon Rick Bronze by seeing how fast I can catch every single Pokemon in every single route. This is definitely gonna be an interesting task, and to keep track of all the Pokemon, I do have a notebook to keep track of every single one in each route. With that, you guys, let's play. Also, you should like and subscribe. So to prepare for the speedrun, I bought lots of quick balls and ultra balls so that I can have the best chances of catching Pokemon quick. And I also got a Breloom so I can inflict status conditions if necessary as well. After doing all this, we are ready to start the speedrun. So we started the speedrun in Route 1, where we need to catch a total of 10 different Pokemon. Some of these Pokemon include the likes of Pidgey, Zigzagoon, and Lechonk. The rarest encounter on this route is Sentret, who we can only find during the daytime, and even then, it only has a 5% chance of being found. So obviously, we did this during the daytime. So, the first encounter of the run we got was Bunnelby, and since Quick Balls have the best chance of catching Pokemon on the first try, this will be our main way of catching all the Pokemon on this run. Our next encounters included Pokemon like Zigzagoon and Wurmple, until this happened. Yeah, so what I completely forgot is that weather conditions cause Pokemon that aren't supposed to be in certain routes appear there, which can definitely set back the run, so that's something I will have to take into consideration going on. Anyways, we continued and we caught Lechonk and managed to get Sentret right after, which is great news. With it being the hardest encounter, finding it now before everyone else is extremely helpful. And of course, along the way, we did get duplicate encounters, but in the end, we managed to catch all 10 Pokemon in just 7 minutes and 37 seconds. On to Route 2. So, Route 2 is a pretty unpopular route since you can only encounter Pokemon once you can learn Rock Climb to get up this cliff. Some Pokemon here include Manectric, Lanoon, and Electabuzz. The rarest Pokemon we can get here is Pinchurin, which has a 5% chance to be found as well. So, the good thing about Route 2 is that it does have less Pokemon in this route, with only a total of 8 species being found here, and the first Pokemon we found was a Dubwool. We then caught a Greedent afterwards, and then a Linoone. It was going fine until this happened. So after getting our second consecutive weather encounter, we got a Pinchurin about 5 minutes in with only 2 Pokemon left to go. However, we couldn't stop encountering Linoons and Electabuzz couldn't stay in the dang ball. To cap it off, we caught Manectric and ended the run in 9 minutes and 12 seconds, making the total time so far to be 16 minutes and 49 seconds. Let's proceed. On Route 3, this is where we have to find the most Pokemon so far, with a total of 11 species including Pokemon like Electrike, Poochyena, and Shinx. It doesn't help when we also have 2 rare encounters, those being Aber and Pachirisu, who has a 4% chance to be found. So, it started with us catching Pawmi, and then a Shinx, and then a Pachirisu? That was easy. We easily were able to catch the rest of the Pokemon, except for this stupid dog, cause it took 10 minutes to find him and end this run and I hate this thing. But in total, it took us 18 minutes and 26 seconds, which could have been much shorter if it weren't for that stupid dog. But that totals the entire run to 35 minutes and 16 seconds. So Route 4, which is on the opposite side of the map from Route 3, is definitely something, because literally no one uses this route. Pokemon here include the likes of Skiddo, Pidgey, and Marill, and thankfully, there is no rare Pokemon here, so this should be pretty easy to do. First, we caught a Pidgey, with a Skiddo coming next, and then afterwards, we got a Shinx. It was going smoothly, however the final Pokemon, Watchroll, took a million years to find, just like Yamper. In total, it took us 14 minutes and 22 seconds, which makes the total time of the run now 49 minutes and 38 seconds. Route 5 is next, and it contains a range of Pokemon including Litleo, Phanpy, and Blitzel. So we start off by catching a Litleo, then a Roly-Coly, and afterwards a Patrat. The run kept getting set back from these stupid weather Pokemon, but altogether we caught our final Pokemon, which led the total runtime to be 12 minutes and 32 seconds, which now makes the entire run length an hour and 3 minutes. We've only done 5 routes, how has it already been an hour? Route 6 is next, and we'll have to do this in the nighttime because of one specific Pokemon, and that being Zubat. We can also find other Pokemon here like Ponyta, Hisuian Growlithe, and Sizzlipede. With a total of 8 species being here, this should hopefully not take too long. So we first caught a Roly-Coly, followed by a Blitzel, and then Hisuian Growlithe. In total, it took us 8 minutes and 18 seconds to finish this run, now letting us progress to Route 7. On Route 7, we encountered the most species of Pokemon so far in this run, with that number being 12 in total. Here, we will have to find 3 rare Pokemon, that being Sunkern, Yanma, and the rarest of them all, Ralts. So the run began with us catching Sunkern, which is great, followed by Poliwag and then a Ralts, which is an amazing start. We managed to easily get the remaining Pokemon, but it took us 6 minutes to get this stupid cat to end it off. Overall, it took us 15 minutes and 3 seconds to get through Route 7, making the total runtime to be an hour and 14 minutes. Next is Route 8, and we will have to find a total of 13 Pokemon on this route. Some of these include Phalanx, Oddish, and Riolu, which is the rarest Pokemon to find here. So the run first started with us catching Herdier, and then a Bunyary, and after, a Bellsprout. It took us a long time to get the remaining Pokemon, with a total runtime of 19 minutes and 21 seconds, now making the total runtime to be an hour and 33 minutes. Up next, we have Route 9. Route 9 is one of the more harder routes, as with a total combination of 9 Pokemon, 4 of them are day and nighttime exclusive. Paris and Roselia can only be found in the day, while Venonat and Kricketot can only be found during the night, so we will have to time this run right. So we started the run at nighttime and managed to get Kricketot, but not Venonat, which is like, really bad. We managed to easily catch all the other Pokemon, including the daytime ones, but we had to now sit in the grass and wait for it to be night. I was genuinely so mad. Eventually, night did fall and this easily made it the longest run so far, coming in at 32 minutes and 30 seconds, now making the total time to be 2 hours and 6 minutes. Also, shout out to this guy while I was waiting for it to be night again. Route 10 is probably the most unique routes of them all, as it has 2 types of grasses in it. It has your normal grass, and then it has a flower bed as well. With a combined total of 13 Pokemon, only 3 can be found in the flower bed, so our main focus will be that first. Some Pokemon here on this route include Floette, Pawniard, and Scyther. So we started the run in the flower beds, and it took us 7 freaking minutes to catch all 3 Pokemon here, which is ridiculous. But we then moved to the other grass and spent the next 16 minutes catching every other Pokemon, making the total time to be 23 minutes and 21 seconds, which brings the total run to 2 hours and 29 minutes. Route 11 is next, and this route probably has the least amount of Pokemon of them all. With only a total of 6 Pokemon species, it includes the likes of Trapinch, Sandslash, and Hippowdon, so this should hopefully be pretty quick. So we started the run by catching a Cacnea, Trapinch, and then followed by a Stonjourner. We eventually caught the last Pokemon, and in total, it took us 10 minutes and 17 seconds to complete it, now making the overall time to be 2 hours and 40 minutes. Route 12 has nearly twice the amount of Pokemon on Route 11, with a total of 13 Pokemon species. Some Pokemon here include Flamigo, Miltank, and the rarest of them all, Bouffalant. The run began with us catching a Flittle, followed by a Thaw and then a Kessleon. This run easily became the longest one so far, as it took a million years to find Bouffalant. But in total, this run took us 46 minutes and 42 seconds to complete, now making the total time to be 3 hours and 26 minutes. Oh my god. Route 13's next, which is just outside of Floruma City. Some Pokemon here include Joltik, Fungus, and the rarest encounter of them all with just a 1.43% chance of being found, Tynamo. Let's just hope this route is nothing like the time it took to do Route 12. So we started the run off by catching an Indeedee, followed by a Duosion and then a Slowpoke. We eventually managed to catch the final Pokemon, and of course that being Tynamo in just 27 minutes and 6 seconds, which now makes the total runtime to be 3 hours and 53 minutes. Route 14 is similar to Route 13, where it has a few Pokemon to find and then a freakishly rare one, and that one being Beldum. And before anyone says anything in the comments, no, Crystal Onyx does not count, the run began with us catching a Makuhita, followed by a Varoom and then a Noibat. It took us a million years to find the final Pokemon, and of course that was Beldum, but the run finally ended at 43 minutes and 26 seconds, which now makes the total time to be 4 hours and 37 minutes. Route 15 is up next with just a total of 8 Pokemon species. However, we have our final nighttime only Pokemon here, and that being Sneasel, which is the rarest of them all, so hopefully this will be pretty easy. So the run began with us catching Swinub, then a Snover, and a Darumaka right after. We easily managed to get Sneasel and the remaining Pokemon in a record 5 minutes and 8 seconds, which makes the total run to be 4 hours and 42 minutes now. Route 16 is next, and it probably has the least interesting amount of Pokemon in it. With only a total of 8 Pokemon species, a few Pokemon here are Jigglypuff, Furfrou, and Swellow. We started the run off by catching a Jigglypuff, then a Furfrou, and then a Thievul. We managed to catch the final Pokemon in 9 minutes and 47 seconds, which now makes the total time to be 5 hours and 30 minutes. Route 17 is a more unique route, as unlike running through the grass like usual, we will have to surf to find our Pokemon. Some Pokemon in this route include Wailmer, Seaking, and Floatzel, and with a total of 12 Pokemon species, let's just hope this goes by well considering we have just one more route after this. So we started the run by catching a Veluza, then a Pikachu, and afterwards a Tentacruel. We eventually caught our last Pokemon with the finished time of 16 minutes and 40 seconds, with the now total time of 5 hours and 46 minutes. Route 18 is the final route, which is just outside of Crescent Town, and it includes a total of 9 Pokemon species in it. Some Pokemon here include Toxicroak, Scorpy, and the rarest encounter of them all, Goomy. The run began with us catching a Toxicroak, then a Swalot, and afterwards a Scorpy. We eventually caught our last Pokemon and ended the run with a total time of 14 minutes and 51 seconds, which now makes the final run time to be 6 hours and 1 minute. Well guys, and just like that, we finished the speed run. We managed to catch every single Pokemon in every single route in just 6 hours and 1 minute, which if I'm being honest was a little longer than I expected, but after doing this I believe it's all purely based on luck. We faced multiple setbacks from certain rare Pokemon, and that caused the time to be pushed back so long, but with that, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, why not subscribe and give this video a like? It's completely free to do so. But yeah guys, with that, take care.